Hello everyone, welcome back to Atreyu Crochet. So, in today's video, as promised, I am going to be teaching you how to crochet the strap for this men's crochet hat that we made last week. And you can really take any tam that you've already created, doesn't matter how old the tam is, and create a strap for it. The purpose of a strap is, one, to accessorize it a little bit, if you will, so it can add a little bit of finesse to it. It can give your tam or crochet hat a different look. It can also, if the opening is starting to become too wide for your head, it can be something that's attached to kind of close it up a little bit more so that the hat or tam stays on your head. There are many different uses for a strap, and they just look really cool. So in today's video, I am going to be showing you how to attach a strap to this crochet hat that we made last week. Let's get to it. So right here where I have this darning weaving tapestry needle, that marks the center. There's a little tail in here that I pulled in so that it stays on the inside. So I'm using this kind of like a stitch marker to let you know where the center of the hat is in the back. Okay, so this is the back of the tam, the hat, and here's the center. So we've divided this into two sections. Here's the first quadrant, here's the second quadrant. Now on either side we're going to further divide it in half. So we're going to go over a certain distance to that halfway point there, and then we're going to attach chains that we've already created at that center point, and we're going to do the same thing over here. Once you determine a certain distance from the center, so a certain distance out to that halfway point, then what you want to do is make sure that it's symmetrical. So if it's 7 or 8 stitches out to get you to that center point over there, then make sure it's 7 or 8 stitches out from this center point on this side as well, so that it's completely symmetrical. Okay, so let's start working on that strap. Starting with a slip knot. This is the same yarn that I used to make the tam, the hat, and I'm going to use the same size crochet hook as well. But we're going to start out with the slip knot. Insert our size 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, and we're going to chain out 50 chains. If you want your strap to be really long so that it can wrap around your head at least twice, then you can chain out 100. But been there, done that. This strap making portion of the hat is very tedious in my opinion. So I'm going for 50 for the purposes of today's tutorial. As I said, you can do 100, but I want to do 50. When you're making these chains, you want to make sure that they are loose, because we're going to be working into the back bumps of these chains to achieve a different look. Okay, so you don't want your chain to be tight, because it's going to make it that much harder for you to get your hook into the chain up under that bump. Alright guys, I will see you once I have all 50 chains made. So this is the halfway point that I have chosen. That's where I'm going to insert my crochet hook with the chains. Okay, so I'm just using this crochet hook just to mark it. Now that I've marked it, I'm going to take this crochet hook that has my chains on it, and I'm going to put my crochet hook in there like that. Now I'm going to yarn over and pull through. So kind of like a slip stitch. So once you yarn over, just pull all the way through. Alright, and now I'm going to chain one just to make sure it's secure. I'm going to cut my yarn and then fasten off. and that'll create a knot. Okay, so now this is the strap on that side, and we'll deal with this tail later. Now I want you to count how many stitches over you are from the center point. So this is black, so I know it's kind of hard to see, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so at that 10th stitch out to the right from the center, that's where I started. That means that I want to go to the 10th stitch out to the left from this center. Okay, alright, so counting from the center, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's there. Like that. So on the left side it's 10 stitches away from the center, and on the right side it's 10 stitches away. I'm going to now insert my crochet hook there, and now I'm going to attach my yarn that I had just cut. So just grab the yarn it over the crochet hook, pull it through, hold this tail back here while you're yarning over again to chain 1. If you don't hold it, you're going to lose it. Okay, that somewhat secures it to the work, and now we're going to just tie a knot. So that's 1, and you guys know when I say tie a knot, I mean at least 2. 2. Alright, now it's really secure. So now we're going to chain out the 50 chains or 100 chains, or how many ever chains you decide you want your strap to be composed of. Okay, so get to chaining the same number of chains on this side for that strap as you did for this one, and I'll meet you once you have them all chained out. So we now have all 50 chains made on the left side. Now we can take this marker out, which was marking that center piece, because we have the places marked already by the positioning of the 2 straps where we want them. And now it's time to crochet the strap. So as promised, we're going to be, instead of going in and working down into the chain like that, or instead of just going up into that top chain like that, we're going to actually turn these so that the face of the chains point down. When you do that, you'll notice these bumps. There's a bump, there's a bump, there's a bump, there's a bump, there's a bumps. There are bumps going through the center. See, there's a bump, there's a bump, there's a bump, there's a bump, and so on. We're going to be working into those bumps. So it's really cool. So we're going to be working half double crochets, and we're going to work into the 3rd chain from the crochet hook. So here's the 1st chain, that's the 2nd chain, this is the 3rd chain. We're going to work into that chain, but we're going to go into that bump for that 3rd chain. So there's the bump. You guys see it right there? That center bump right there. That's where we're going to go in. And because it's a half double crochet, we yarn over, and then we just slide the crochet hook right up under the bump, that center bump. Yarn over, pull through to the front, 3 loops, yarn over, go through all 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright, there's the next one. I know it sucks that this is black, but it's just where we are with that yarn now. Yarn over, there's the next bump there. Go into it like that. Yarn over, pull through to the front. Yarn over, go through all 3 loops. Here's the next bump right there. See it? See it right there? There's a good profile shot. So yarn over, go into that bump just up under it. Yarn over, pull through to the front. Yarn over, go through all 3 bumps or loops. Yarn over, there's the next bump. There's the profile shot of it. Okay, we're gonna go into it like that. So it's just that one little loop. Yarn over, pull through to the front. Yarn over, go through all 3 loops. The cool thing about doing it this way is that you have the top and you see the nice looking tops that look like chain stitches. Well, when you flip it to the bottom, you also see the chain stitches. You see the face of the chain stitches. Okay, so just continue putting 1 half double crochet into every bump. There's a bump, there's a bump, there's a bump, and so on until we get back to the hat. I will meet you there. Alright, so I've made my way back to the tam just to get your bearings. This is the center, this is where the tag or tail is, right? Here's the other strap off to the right that we have not gotten to yet. And now we're back at the tam. So what we're going to do is we're going to crochet around the front, so the side and the front of the tam, and then we'll get here to this chain, and that's when we will start to add half double crochets to this strap. Okay, so we chained out, right, and then we did half double crochets back, and now we're back at the tam or hat. So now we're just going to put 1 half double crochet into every stitch around the tam, going around the side and the front and then back to the side to the other strap. Once again, to get your bearings, this is the back of the tam as indicated by my little makeshift tag. Alright, so make sure it's facing like this, your strap on the left, and now let's just continue crocheting half double crochets, 1 into every stitch like that. Yes, and just continue crocheting around, and I will meet you once we get to the other side where we're going to start making those half double crochets into the strap. See you there. Okay, so now we are at this other strap, and as you can see, I've been putting half double crochets all the way around the front, back to the side, and then now I'm at this strap over here that I have yet to put half double crochets into. But that's no problem because I'm going to do it now. I could crochet over this tail while I am creating these half double crochets, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to confuse you guys. So let's just go to the chains. So once again, this is the front face of the chains, right? So if we turn them down, face down, you'll start to see the bumps in the center. Once again, as before, I'm going to crochet into the bumps. Okay, so right here, there's the first bump. So I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to make sure I have it turned the way I need it to be, like that. Yarn over, pull through 3 loops, yarn over, go through all 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright, the next bump is there, so yarn over, go into that bump, and that chain was a little tight. This is why I was saying to make your chains nice and loose, because it can be very tedious trying to get under those bumps if your tension is too tight. And I tend to have a really tight tension anyway. I think I'm just kind of hardwired that way. Like I am a very organized, stringent, type of person. I like order. So it makes sense that I want everything to be nice and neat, and usually you can achieve that with tightness. I have to really think, okay, be loose, be loose, be loose, Atreyu. So with this one, I got it together. You can see that that's a much looser bump. See that side shot? Watch how easily I go in here. Bam. And that's the benefit of chaining loosely when you know you're gonna work into the back bumps of these chain stitches. Alright, also, once again, when you turn it over, the benefit of going into the back bumps is that you can see the nice faces of the chain stitches. And I know it's hard because it's black, but yeah. So the top essentially matches the bottom, which I think is awesome. Alrighty, so continuing on, working into those bumps. Just insert your hook, that, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through 3. Yarn over, go into the bump, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through 3. And shout out to the subscriber that I was talking to about the bumps. She had mentioned how some people go into the bumps, and I was telling her that yeah, I had definitely seen that, but I kind of never really do it. It's rare that I do it because I just find it really tedious, especially when you have a lot of chains to crochet into. I mean, I've made this before, so in that first one that I made, each strap I made 100 chains long. So that's like 200 bumps that I had to crochet into, and it was just, it's kind of like trying to weave in yarn, you know. You just like that one woman who crochets said, you just need a glass of wine, I guess, you know, to get you through it. You really got to pace yourself. That's kind of how I feel about bumps. I mean, they're much easier though when you've chained loosely, but usually I've already made the chains before I think about, oh yeah, I should have probably chained loosely because I'm going to go into the bumps. So usually I end up just not going into the bumps. But I wanted to show you guys how you can go into the bumps and achieve, you know, a different look, which looks really cool. I mean, it's cool that the bottom looks like the top in terms of the faces of the chains. So, all right, well, continue on with these half double crochets, working into the bumps. So those bumps in the center, and I will meet you at the end of the strap. All right, we have just a couple of more bumps left. Let's see, we have that bump right there, and then that one right there. So just 2 more, and then we're gonna start to head back in the other direction. All right, that's 1. And 1 more. And whenever you complete that last bump, you just feel such a sense of relief because you know that it is much smoother sailing here on out. And that's with any project. When you have to work into chain stitches, you're just like, thank goodness we're done with that. But I have to say, it is a beautiful look to see the faces of the chain stitch. So it's definitely a pain point, but it can be worth it. Alright, so now we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, turn our work, which is just turning the strap around like that. We're going to work into that same stitch with a half double crochet, so just go into the top of it like normal, and then put 1 half double crochet into every stitch, back, around. So you're going to follow the same path that you took to get here. So we're going to put a half double crochet all the way into every stitch, all the way back to the hat, and then back around in reverse order to the strap over here, and then out that way. Okay? So I'm going to meet you once we get back to the hat, just to make sure you got it. So we're back at the hat now. Here's the strap, and I've made my way back to the hat. And like I said, now we're going to go in the reverse direction, back around the side, to the front, to the other side, and then we'll come back to this strap over here, and then put half double crochets another row of half double crochets on this strap. Okay, so just work your way around the hat and I will meet you at that other strap. Sound good? Good. See you there. We've made it back to the other strap, so we're just going to continue putting half double crochets into every stitch. One half double crochet into every stitch. Try not to lose your yarn like I just did. I will meet you at the end of this strap, so once we get down there. Alright, so we are completely even right now. When I say we're even right now, that means that there are 2 rows of half double crochets on both straps and along the crochet hat where we crocheted, right? The front and the sides. So we have exactly 2 rows of half double crochets. You can be done at this point. You can chain 1, cut your yarn, fasten off, or you can continue on with more rows. It all depends on how wide you want your strap. So I think I'm going to do 1 more row, and when I get to the other side, both straps will have 3 rows of half double crochets, and the front will have 3 rows as well. So it's 1, 2, and then it'll be a third one. This is 1, 2, and then I'll have a third one. And here, 1, 2, and then it'll have a third one. Okay? So going from one strap to the end of the other strap will increase you by 1 row. Okay? Alrighty, let's chain 2. Turn our work into that very first half double crochet that this chain 2 is coming out of, just to keep it nice and square, and then just put 1 half double crochet. I did a double crochet, didn't I? Sorry. Alright, and then we're going to put that half double crochet into this very first stitch, the one that chain 3 is coming out of, and then just continue putting half double crochets, 1 in every stitch. I will meet you once I get to the end of this strap. And so you can already see a width difference. So yeah, I think 1 more row will suffice. See you there. So we're almost at the end of the other strap now. I've crocheted all the way around. I'm just going to put my last one there. Okay, so I have my 3 rows of half double crochets. I'm going to chain 1, cut my yarn, and fasten off. Now I'm going to use my darning weaving tapestry needle to clean up the hat, so all the tails that have accumulated, like that one and the one I currently have in my darning needle, just gonna hide them now. You guys know to just go through a few stitches in one direction and pull. Whenever it pulls like that and it's not coming anymore, pull one of the sides to see where the end of the tail is. There it is. And then kind of straighten it back out. And now let's go in the other direction. Through the stitches like that. Kind of stretch it back out. Alright, and then we'll cut that down. Make sure you don't cut your work. And then we can do the same thing with this one. Okay, and then all the other tails that are still left hanging. Alright, so I'm going to do some weaving. Have a glass of wine, just kidding. But yeah, I'll meet you once I'm done with these tails. Alright, you guys, I am done weaving in all of my tails. Thank goodness. And this is the final product. Okay, so we have these 3 extra rows of half double crochets, which are attached to the 2 straps. And yeah, I just love this variegated yarn and the colorway. I mean, it's just so cool. And the way it crochets out, you can't even really guess it really, but it definitely amounts to something very beautiful. So this is how you attach straps to a crochet hat or tam. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, to leave them in the comments section. And that is it for this video, you guys. I'll definitely see you in the next one. In the meantime, happy crocheting.